Hey guys, what's up? Um, not, I guess it's not really, not finishing, but, beginning. But, we continue our Remember November month, where I cover films that are memorable for their plot, for something about them, their title, and for this film, it's the plot, the title, and the fact that it's directed by the Soska sisters. Tonight's movie is a Canadian horror exploitation black comedy film from the beautiful twisted twins Jen and Sylvia Soska, directors of American Mary, which I thought was an absolutely amazing film. And tonight's movie is their premiere film, Dead Hooker in a Trunk. This movie is about four friends who set out on an everyday errand to find themselves stuck in a hard situation when they find a dead hooker in their trunk. This group of friends is led by a sexy badass, a distant geek, a Bible thumping, Jesus loving goody two shoes boy, and a chaotic rock star junkie. This group has to put aside their differences to dispose of the body before they are killed next. And then they have to face off against the police, a sleazy motel manager, a chainsaw wielding triad, and a brutal serial killer. That's quite the plot. So the film opens with credits and video of a hooker being murdered. I assume that's what it is. And then we get the like this bar where the band is playing, and they play for a while, and this guy kind of walks through this place thinking about killing this hooker, and he does. And we skip to meet the cunt 1989, aka Badass. I'm not even kidding, that's the character's name. And the geek, who are both played by the Soska sisters, who, and at this point they're not played by the Soska sisters, they're children in this scene, and they see their mother get murdered, and Badass kills the man who murders their mother. And that's one hell of an opener. So the one twin wakes up with a guy in bed, and her sister finds the lead singer of the band sleeping in the bathtub. The badass goes to pick up the goody two shoes friend, who is the geek, and it's at like a Catholic church, and he's an uber Jesus freak who thinks he can sing. Yada yada yada, Jesus this, Savior that. The badass's arm gets caught on fire. The priest puts it out, and you can tell she is attracted to her, so they start driving. And then they discover there's a foul smell in the car. They look in the trunk, and it's a dead hooker with anal beads and drugs. That's where I ended it, because I think that's a good place to end it. And because the website I was watching this film on was doing this thing where it would show an ad unless you were on full screen with it, so I couldn't really take notes and watch the film at the same time. So, Dead Hooker in a Trunk is pretty fucking good. Not in a classical sense. I mean, it's. I mean, the acting is pretty bad. The writing is hilariously bad. The camera work is very amateurish, and the lighting isn't that great. The music is pretty decent. It is truly, if there was ever a tribute to exploitation films, this is truly the tribute. Because most exploitation films had very, very low budgets, and this film had a budget of about $2,000, which is the same budget as violent shit. Also, the effects are good. The characters, as I said in the description, they do have some traits. We have a badass, who is really impulsive. We have a really distant geek. We have a Jesus-loving guy who refuses to curse throughout almost the entire movie, or do anything bad throughout the entire movie. And we have the rock star junkie, and that's literally it. The characters aren't very deep or complex. Although if you're watching an exploitation film called Dead Hooker in a Trunk, I don't think you're going to watch it for deep and complex characters or very rich and good acting and writing and dialogue. I think you're watching this just because the title is interesting and because the plot is pretty fucking sweet. Um, as Eli Roth, the horror director, the man who directed Hostel and the guy who directed Hostel 1 and 2, as well as Cabin Fever, and his upcoming film, The Green Inferno. He said that this film is fucking awesome. And they literally quoted him on every single poster and DVD release of this movie. Just his quote that says, "It's fucking awesome." And I've got to agree with him. On the gore meter from 1 to 10, 1 being something like The Corpse Grinders, and 10 being something like Brain Dead, Dead Hooker in a Trunk is a 5 or 6. For the low budget, it was surprisingly very gory. Not not extremely gory, but there was a lot more gore in this one than I expected there to be. How do I wrap this one up? It's a good exploitation film. If you like really violent, over the top, crazy exploitation films, you'll probably like this one. If you saw American Mary and you want to check out their earlier work, check out the Soska sisters' earlier work. I definitely say check this one out. This one's really, really fun, really funny, really brutal, really violent, really just it's like a combination of a Tarantino film and a classic like exploitation film from the 70s. Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it. Uh, anyway, guys, I'd give it a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. It is really fucking awesome. And I don't think there's any other word to describe Dead Hooker in a Trunk. The links to the Facebook page, Twitter, Tumblr, all that is in the description below. Anyway, guys, I'm Biscuit Boo 69, signing off. Peace.